Well, good morning and welcome to all of you. And I see many faces I don't know, so welcome to you who are visiting with us. I know there's a lot happening in Knoxville this weekend. We have a little baseball going. Do we have any folks from LSU? Are y'all here this morning? Well, then I can say something partisan. Man, I'm glad the Vols won yesterday. So if you want some fun, I would tune into the super regional baseball game today that the Vols are going to play. What good ball. Boy, it's great watching those boys. They are great athletes. One quick shout out, by the way. We have a new thing called the Parish Portal. And if you are on our email list, you probably have an invitation to join. If not, Shay Boswell, our administrator, is in the Welcome Center over here, and she would love to get you on the communication list. The Parish Portal is the online directory, and I'm not making this up. I've wanted this. I won't tell you how long I've been a priest. I've wanted this my entire career. It's a long time. We've never had anything that can touch what this will do. Most of our parish directories are awful, to be honest, and we survive them. This actually is up to date. It's timely. You get to put your own pictures in so people see you. You can find someone you know or want someone to know better, get their telephone number, know how to communicate. It's private for you, parishioners, not sold, not given out. So Get some help. We'll help you with it. See Shay, tell one of us, bring your device. We'll help you put it on your device. It'll help you with technology. All us old guys need to do that. So help us with that, and it will help you, I promise. It is fabulous. So enough of that. There are some younger people here. But for those of you that maybe don't think you're so young anymore, I'll let you figure out what age that is. How often do you return or revisit your childhood? How often do you think about childhood? Well, I own that I don't think about it much and never have. Not sure what that's about. I think I've always been so presently minded. But like you, probably, I have the opportunity every once in a while. I grew up in Memphis. If I'm in Memphis, see friends, see old friends, see my school, that brings some of it back. Reunions, being with extended family, do that. I bet you've been there. It's amazing. You get with your extended family and plop, you're right back being that child that you were with them when you were that age. It's fascinating how that dynamic works. But you know, I'm revisiting my childhood the last couple of weeks in a way that I've not done in a long time, for the strangest of reasons. And it's because my gym closed. I'm really serious. My gymnasium, the place I work out, they're closed for remodeling. I'm kicked out for 6 months. So I had to figure out where I was going to go. I'm back at the YMCA, which I've had a relationship with all these years, give them money. I've had sometimes a relationship and didn't even work out there, but still paid my dues. But I'm back there. And the reason that's important is because when I was a boy in Memphis, I lived at the Y. I am not kidding. I lived there, not really. I was there every day almost, it seems. Winter or summer, didn't matter. But the YMCA is a home to me inside of me. But my buddies, we were there all the time doing great stuff constantly. And so I'm back at the Y. And in a way, I'm watching myself and all those children. It is a fabulous experience. But I'm revisiting all the things we did. I learned all kind of ball sports. We played tons of things. I learned to play basketball, foursquare. We had serious slaughter ball where people got hurt and fights started. It was a lot of fun. I learned to shoot billiards. I learned to play ping pong. And I was good at them because we did it all the time. My favorite thing, of course, is swimming. We swam as much as we could hit the pool, outdoors and indoors, winter and summer. And I think the swimming is important to me because, well, I failed at 5 years old. I failed right out of swimming class. My parents took me, Chris will know what it is, they took me to the fairgrounds. There was a big public pool there, and it was at 7 in the morning. The water was freezing right at the beginning of summer. It was a cold summer anyway. And I just was miserable. And frankly, the instructors were kind of yucky. I mean, they didn't want to be there at 7 in the morning, and they kind of expected we just get it. You know, throw you in the pool, you learn to swim. And then I went to the Y and had a totally different experience. much like I think the kids are getting today. These young, energetic, fun instructors and lifeguards. They knew all the tools. They were patient. They had ideas about how to overcome your fear. But I'm left with an impression. And I don't remember all the details of that learning to swim, but I'm left with an impression, a really strong one. And that impression is in here. Really in here. And it's this, that those young adults, they had faith in me that I was going to learn to swim and do it easily. And do you know what happened? I learned to swim quickly and easily and became good at it. But it was because of their faith. Because I had come out of a failure, and I was kind of afraid of the water because of that. I got better and better every day. The reason, and you're probably wondering, what is this about? Other than walk through John's memories. Sorry about that. The real reason is I had another of these experiences a week and a half ago. When I picked up the gospel for today, we start ahead thinking about what we're going to say. And I read this parable, and I realized it is locked in here the same way that impression of the why is locked in here. It is the first and most substantial teaching I remember from childhood. In fact, it may be the only teaching I really remember from childhood of Jesus. The story of the mustard seed. The parable that faith is like this tiny mustard seed. And I realized it has been in here with me every day since. It may be because, some of you have heard me tell this funny story, my sister, who is much older than I, but she was already in confirmation class when I was a little bitty boy. Well, she got confirmed, and everybody in the confirmation class got a key ring, and on the key ring was a round globe, and guess what was inside the little globe? A mustard seed. Maybe some of you got those. They were popular back then in the 1950s and early 60s. And it's fascinating. And as soon as I saw it, I took it and hid it from her. So I kept it. She's not here this morning, but she'll say, I want that thing back. In fact, I keep trying to find it. It's a keepsake. I can't find the silly thing. But you understand what happened. I hope I can try to translate this. What happened was I saw the mustard seed, and it clicked. For the first time as a child. I'm not making this up. You know, we tell stories about childhood that we really didn't know then. You knew them as an adult. I knew it then. I thought, I get the story. Faith is like that. In fact, if I held it up, you couldn't see it from where you are. And it stayed with me and is with me now. You see, the truth of that teaching is profound. And so I'm going to say it the way I think it is. And I mean this. This has shaped what I have done as an adult. And it has shaped what I have done as a priest. So I think it goes something like this. Faith is like that. It's not how big it is, how expansive it is, how much stuff is in it, how much experience you have, how much knowledge you have. It has nothing to do with that. It's that big. That's all there is to it. Jesus meant it. And I believed at 5, and I believed at, 60-something, I still believe it. That's what it's all about. And I've tried to practice that. In other words, it is not what you believe that matters. It is that you do believe that matters. It is not what you believe that matters. It is that you believe that matters. And when I get off the stroke, when I'm off the center of the road, I come right back there. And then my relationship with you is better, and I treat you better. And I think I'm a better pastor. And I mean that. And to think it's all because I stole that keychain. You know, Chris and I were trained, and there are a billion books about all of this. And some of them are about this thick, and yes, we've poured through some of those, and Tom has, and Jerry has, and everybody else that studied theology. We read all that theology. It's good to know all that stuff. The what matters. The problem is what we argue and fight about in Christianity is the what. Your what collides with other people's what. And we do it to each other constantly. The church is full of this. And when I say church, I mean all Christians. One denomination has a what that doesn't line up with your what. And they tell you about it, or we tell them about it, and then we fight over it. And then we say we're superior because our what is better than your what. Am I wrong? Do you think I'm wrong? We've made the what. And I think faith is the what. I own this. It may be a heresy, but I believe it. That the what may be important at times. Education is important because it helps increase our faith. If it nurtures you, opens your mind, expands your knowledge, gives you a thing, but if it makes you superior and others inferior, if it makes you solitary in the sight of God instead of community, you get my drift. That's where I am. You don't have to be there. I'm being really honest. I'm literally there. So much there, sometimes it scares me a little bit. I know that education's great, but it's not faith. Faith is that deep, tiny little seed of the awareness of God and the awareness of God in our lives and what that does for you personally, which is totally personal. Actually, it's probably not my business. It's your business to be in relationship with God and go where God takes you. Wouldn't it be good if we just did that for each other? That was our thought. You know, the things in life that make the most difference, that change us, shape us, form us, the people we are, the people we will be, the people we are still becoming, even our age. Tim and I were talking about that this morning. At our age, we're still learning and growing. You know, most of it starts with something small and insignificant. That's my experience. And that includes faith. That is my experience. A little bit, a tiny bit, is a massive amount. That's all it takes. Over the years, I've had thousands of examples. I could write a book, but it would be about you and you'd be unhappy because I'd tell your stories, which I can do, and I do a lot. So I'm going to tell you a couple this morning. Young guy working out at one of our big boat manufacturers in Tellico came to me and said, you know, I'm making a whole bunch of six-figure numbers. I said, yeah. He said, I got this great job and I know everything about ski boats. Yeah. And I'm really good at what I'm doing. Yeah. And he said, and I'm unhappy and I don't feel fulfilled. I said, tell me about that. He said, you don't know that I grew up with really difficult learning disabilities as a child. And he said, I want to do something with that. I said, what do you want to do? He said, go to school. I said, then go to school. So he quit his job, which scared me, and he went to school. And now he is infinitely happy living in another southern city and serving children with significant learning disabilities with all the schooling that he needs, but with the experience that he had. I have somebody else in mind. She's actually here. So I won't embarrass by the details, but, you know, I think I want to do something different. Got a great job on that stuff, but I think I want to teach. So guess what? Went back, did all she needed to do, and she's teaching, and from all appearances, when I see her, she's very happy. Those may not be earth-shattering, but yes, actually they are. I heard one time that the best teachers are sowers, not reapers. Sowing and not reaping. You know what the sowing business is, putting the seed down, but the reaping part, taking that crop in, often I think it's kind of like cutting down the crop, processing the crop, packaging the crop, advertising the crop. I know for me that I have a simple job in life as a Christian. And that is to remind people that the seed of faith is always available and always there. That's what my job is, particularly at times that they think it is not. And I'm dedicated to that job. See, faith really is small and simple. It is often childlike and inexperienced. It is often naive, but full of awesome possibility. That's also what I've experienced. It's interesting to me how much we talk about trusting God, and we even preach this. And then we don't trust God's greatest expression of God's self. And what is that? You. You didn't miss that, did you? That we are just a little lower than the angels? That we are made in the image of God, every one of you, me too? And yet somehow we distrust that part of God. You see, I think Jesus trusts us with our faith. Jesus trusts you with your faith. You don't need to check it out with anybody. He knows that we'll figure it out. We will work it out. We will express it, hopefully, in the ways that we can and need to express it. I'm not sure we can tell somebody else how to do that. So, do you remember when someone reminded you of the mustard seed in your life? Who was that person? When was that? Have you thought about it in a while? Because I think when we get in touch with that moment or those moments, because they do happen multiple times, see, then we're able to remind someone else of the very same thing. Someone who needs the reminder, that's what they need. They don't need a dictionary. They don't need a set of biblical encyclopedias. They need a reminder that faith is possible. It is right there. It is right here where it was planted. Because we all know, don't we, that faith changes lives. It keeps us alive. It keeps us growing. Amen.
Using the form found on page 358, let us stand and reaffirm our faith using the Nicene Creed.